This video is forever. It's for everyone and anyone that watches it. But I've made it with Lainey and Ben in mind. Uh, excuse me. Things for them to know. Excuse me. Weird frog noise out of my throat. Anyway, for Lainey and Ben, your buddy Dave, when I started looking at him, he saw me looking at him, and he told me that his name was, he liked to go by Davey. And the other gentleman came up and said Tim, and the one you call Andy, and I'm like, okay. And I said, what's with the Andy? He said I was Timothy Andrew, yada yada yada, some English name. Excuse all the sniffling, I can't help it. Lung disease is just nasty. That little heart disease, degenerative joint disease, blah blah blah. I got the whole packet. I said, eat all of the above. Give me all of it. Still was hell to get not kill us by though, huh? Anyway, so after talking with Dave, he had said that he wanted to have his own little place to go, like, heaven. And what heaven is, it's an area on the second dimension or other side where there's a community, and around the earth, there's a community of beings that are 17% lower frequencies and less. And then you have the around Miranda, the first moon off of Uranus. Excuse me. You have the other dimension, the other side dimension, still second side dimension, but the community for 27% and higher, lower frequencies. And that's never been good for the 27%er. So that they would literally just stay away from them because it's too nasty. So I attached it, made a dimension, attached it to the regular other side of high frequency community that's around the earth. I attach this other dimension to it. There's a barrier in it. And for that dimension, I mean, for this community, it's all beings that are 17 to 27% lower frequencies are allowed in. That's a new home for them. And Ben, lady, would you get this? If you would, for yourself, it doesn't hurt me. And connect with Davey, with Dave. And and ask him, do you have your heaven now, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera, and you'll find out. I'm not a joke, and neither are y'all. I'm real, y'all are real. I'm just different. I'm no better than a blade of grass or a stick in the mud. Creation's never been considered equal, but it is now. Talk to Tim, ask him. Oh, and by the way, Ben, damn, this is hard. Davy's hair isn't all smooth and flat like the picture the lady drew. He wanted to look real clean and everything, but he was showing me his hair being like yours, a little more, in place, but a little bit ruffled, except it was a little taller, a little longer, is sticking up a little bit over here. Almost had like an orange, some kind of orange hue to it. Anyway, you can talk to them and find out for yourself. You don't have to listen to someone that most people think, rightly so, that I'm a nut or a crazy man or something because I speak about things no one else knows about. It's because no one else could bring the stuff here to you. No one else was able to do it. No one else had the power to do it. Strength, power, fortitude, whatever. Numerologically, the number 4. Excuse me. And Ben, you're going on a ship, and I think after you've gone a time or two, that lady's going to want to go up there with you. But you're going to meet a gentleman. He's the head of the whole show. His name is Aaron, Aron. And you'll spend about 3, 4, 5 minutes with him walking through the hull of his big ship. It's a little over 4 times the size of, excuse me, the mass of Spain. And I forgot to put in the video that Tim and I just made. It's for everybody, but it's guided towards Lee and his family. There's also a manufacturing ship here. Aaron's ship is like 4.3 times the size. Excuse me. The density, whatever, of Spain, the size. But then there's a manufacturing ship here that's just over 8 times the size of Aaron's ship. And it's been in the it was seen in the in the southern part of the Atlantic Ocean. And it was on a weather show, and they said the satellites picked this up as some kind of anomaly or something, and they guess it as heat waves. It's there's some heat involved, but it's mostly electromagnetic energy, and it looks like a blob. But then all of a sudden it starts turning on edge, and if you imagine it as a big saucer, which it pretty much is not exact saucer, but it's like that. As it turns on its side, then it goes from being round to a little bit oval, and then you see energy shooting out over here. It extends over here, and it's like, what? That's literally the drive system of the ship. Can I paste that on here, you think?
I'll find out a way to do it with Walker. Yeah.
Yeah, so they can actually watch the video.
Yeah, we'll put that up separately. Yeah.
And Lainey, I know you go on there. You're gonna love shopping on Aaron's ship. I mean, they have a disc you stand on top of. They measure your exact measurements inside and out, and then you can go through a catalog. You pick out what you want, and it literally makes it to your size. So you can go shopping, buy about, I don't know, 9 or 10 different things, 100 different things, whatever you want. You all have a good expense account. I forgot to tell you about that. You're gonna get paid. You're gonna have another house too. Actually, 2 of them, likely, like the others in the circle. And you have it's like a credit card. Both of you have it, but you only have one account, and you both work off of it. And you have. Let me just be conservative. You have they'll put in well over 100,000 euros. But then when you get down to, depending on the time or whatever, it could be anywhere from 40 to 85,000 euros. Then it just refills itself. So, I know everyone doesn't get this. This is people that are working to help us understand what's going on. Excuse me, Ben, lady, can't talk. Excuse me. Y'all are also getting equipment for, talking with spirit and stuff like that. Well, there's nothing like it on the earth. Elon Musk, love the guy. He's great. He's soul, very dark blue aura. He's very strong talking, but also really strong pineal. Have you seen him take the rocket, one of his rockets, and it takes off and then it returns going backwards and lands perfectly in the right place? You think that's possible by a human? He's a hybrid. He doesn't appreciate me saying that, but he also understands I'm about to start everything. I've been on ships all kinds of times, but I have to be unconscious. They have rules and regs, except for certain plants like Elon. They don't allow for anyone to know what's going on. It's like, believe it or not, like Star Trek, they had a prime directive or whatever. That's pretty much it. But with me, I had to get out of the body and then get home so I can control things and get rid of the rest of the scum that's out there, the abusers. I'm talking spirit and everything else. Because then they know everything they do will happen properly, and nothing, no spirit on the other side can mess with it. But you're going to see all kinds of stuff, and you'll have it all documented, pictures and everything. But you'll be using the ET web too, just like everyone else. And you all have phones. They look like regular human phones, but they're ET hybrid phones, and their internet and stuff. A lot of people are going to start using. It'll just be made to happen. Elon's Starlink system, and but y'all that are involved directly with Aaron, you'll be dealing with his associates. He's got a lot of them, but you'll be dealing with them with the associates directly. They'll be, at your side just as soon as you call them. Work with you, do things for you, because your system that you're working with is going to be huge. It's like Lee. Before you even meet them and get started, it's going to grow like ×3, and then it gets nuts. But you'll be showing people the truth of what's out there. Now, hooking up with Lee and his assistants and stuff, that'll happen soon after I'm gone. However, they're not going to be exposing themselves for about 4.5 months, because I'm going to tear a lot of stuff apart on this planet when I get rid of these abusive individuals. And I'm destroying them. China, everything else, creating a tsunami between destroying the shelf floor, and then the floor that would land on, I push that down into the ground. I got to send those pictures to Walker and everyone else too. I gotta find them. I can't do anything else to this body. Anyway, it'll be over 1,000-foot wave. The animals going right away. Then a few days later, the China tsunami and everything. And some people talk so much about. I'm gonna get it out now. I forgot to mention the end of this. In the video I made that was more related to Lee, that someone eventually sent him towards. But I'll do a bunch of things I've mentioned, and it's just going to happen. People are going to say, well, maybe that guy was who he said he was. But then you're going to find out that less than 6 years from today, people are not going to be a body anymore. Y'all are spirit, such an energy. To be in a body is as unnatural as your life can be. The only hell there is being in a body and having to live a life and being abused. But damn, wow. But anyway, after 4.5 months, they're coming out large and in charge. And Ben, you, Lainey, are already going to have a front seat. Lainey, you're going to love the shopping at the store on Aaron's ship. You're going to love a bunch of it, but it's a person's dream come true that wants to shop and have anything tailor-made. Oh, and the what they call the food replicators, I call them food synthesizers. They have warehouses of these things already built. They had to try to dumb down the looks and everything to where it looks like something that Elon Musk he's going to come out. Elon Musk and what is it, Jared Kushner, Donald's son-in-law, like they're involved in. It's the hybrids making them. But anyway, this warehouse is huge, and it's 100 foot tall, and it's almost to the top. The two plants, along with others that are necessary to provide the nutrient mass that's used inside these replicators. There's two huge fields of it going. One of them near Ethiopia and Somalia in Australia. They'll be everywhere. They have some other shit. Uh, but I can't talk anymore. Tim and I have to do a longer video in just a little bit. I'm about to drop dead. So this is the end of this one last video we're gonna make. The last 3 videos today. That's it. So it's nothing but fun. Oh, healthcare, everything else, you get the best there is. But when you see all the animals gone, I'd like you to consider, wow, Jay said that. And then the dead bodies had the real problematic things here: prisoners, gangs, politicians, and stuff. I'm going to light them on fire. I'm taking the inside of what they are, their body, and transmutating it into the material and the gases and the elements that are necessary, like within a star, like the sun. And they're going to burn. Some of the bodies will just drop dead, and then some of the bodies are just going to turn to dust. All the people that are hurt, they need to go home. Or they need to go home with love, and they will. All the people that are abusive, even though they're not really nasty, they've been groomed and programmed by the original first being to be like that, what people call God and the devil. It's the same person as the original first being. All this is going to come out, it's going to be shown to people. You'll be relaxing and you'll just see it for yourself and you'll say, what? And over time it makes sense. Why? Because it's true. People used to say there's no way I could go with someone and change them, make them stronger, increase their willpower, help heal some of them, but I could do that many times. But over about a year and a half, the people stopped. There were many, only a few, 3 maybe. But they all said the same thing. They had to shut up regarding that. They said, well, I still don't like the guy. They think I'm arrogant. I'm not arrogant. I'm what I am. I'm no better than anything else. No better than a leaf or a blade of grass or a stick in the mud. All creation is equal. And the changes coming are going to be unreal. And talking about religious people, especially the Christians, I used to be a long time ago. You could go by a church where you could feel energy, especially heart. You go by a church and you're going to feel some rotten raisins, but the amount of love you feel coming out of that building it's just a beautiful thing to feel. And what happened to the original first being was happenstance to make it aggressive and stuff. Is when original first beings were being made, as there's 5 different energies that have to be there to coalesce. But then when it comes together, the one that's always the biggest and is the strongest is a form of electromagnetic metaphysical energy. And as this coalescence becomes stronger and stronger, it's energy, building energy, and it's like a magnetic force, and it starts pulling in any heavy particulate matter that's nearby. The original first being, started pulling it in. And it was 27.5% lower frequencies. Then it split into 2 parts because it needed to have company. It was literally going crazy being alone. So it split itself into 2 parts, but not exact holographic replicas. I mean, it's the 2 parts that fit together to make the whole. but the male was made bigger and stronger because it had different work to do and it had to protect the other. So, excuse me, it was larger in size. Anyway, just a lot more. I wrote a series of books for everybody before I left. Before now that I'm leaving, I had to finish put together before I left. It's called the Creation Series. You can get it at thespiritualfoundation.com in a little bit, but you can get it if you want from Amazon.com right now. I don't know what they charge for the first book. It's a smaller book, but as soon as I'm gone, Deanna, who it has the Spiritual Foundation with me. If you go to the Spiritual Foundation, you're going to see this beautiful woman and this butt ugly guy in overalls. That's me. She's my daughter, her spirit. And anyway, she's going to be getting together with Aaron on another ship. They're going to be punching out books really cheap. I don't know how long this is going to take. It won't be too long, but it'll be more than a few weeks. But if nothing else, if you really want to know what's going on, just buy the first book and read slow. The editor of CreateSpace, which was the editor when I did this, the head editor called me at my house, and I'm like, "Oh crap, I screwed up, or don't want to do the book and everything." But she was sweet, and she said that she's been reading since she's 5, and at 11 she had read most everything she could get her hands on, and she said, "I want to talk to you about a couple things, but the first thing is, I've read so much of everything. No one has this information out there anywhere. No one has the information that you've written. And when you write it, it's almost like a textbook. But you present it, like yourself, and kind of a clown in overalls." But she said it is funny how the more I read it, the more abstract things come together that they just make simple sense. It's common sense. So, buy that just to get started if you can. I don't get a penny out of it. Deanna, we save animals all over the place. We've given away many, many, many thousands of dollars to different people taking care of animals, and even a group, ARM of Florida, that they go looking for people abusing animals, and then they get all over them. So they save the animals. But everything's going to change. The information is there. I've made over 1,200 videos, but the first channel, Google it, I got in a big fight. And they took down a couple of them for no reason. This one lady I was doing it with, she was a spiritual symposiums. Her name was, I forget, I guess I'm not supposed to say it. I don't care though. It doesn't matter to me. Michelle Davis. We got a couple of horses for her. As soon as somebody came in, it went right to her. I had nothing. When at the very end, she screwed the hell out of me and took all the money. It was about $400,000, and that was over a 2-year period, I think.
Mm-hmm.
And that's back when my crank ups were 300 starting. But I had to expand about to 1,000. I've proven everyone what I am. Heck, you go to the spiritualfoundation.com, you find the diagram. I'll get Walker. He's got the pictures. The before each picture's got like a left and right side. It's the same chart. But if you look at the left side of the chart, I've got his name in front of me. If I got it, Para, something.
Martin Para. Martin Para.
At the top it says without arrow, and then on the chart on the right it says with arrow. And the lady that was doing the QEEG, quantitative electroencephalogram, when she ran a test without me doing it, then ran a test with me doing it, She freaked out. And then I cranked up my energy real hard and just started messing up her machine. She asked me to stop. So I did. And then she cleared the machine, and it's fine. There's nothing wrong with it. The idea isn't to hurt anything. It's not trying to make something about myself, because it sure as hell isn't. It's about everyone else. But if there is something that's getting ready to change things for you and is trying to help you understand who you are, you're awesome, beautiful beings of energy, sentient energy, spirit that are eternal, unless they start beating stuff up, and then mini Godzilla comes out. Uh, anyway, I would use that energy in people's brains to change them. They get stronger physically, stronger willpower, and really help them with like stopping bad habits like smoking, etc., etc. It increases your willpower. And the way it works is kind of simple, but I don't have the energy. I'm sorry. But anyway, Ben, you're walking on the ship. I believe 2 times before you take Lady. And most everyone, not everyone, but a lot more than half of the people on the ship, they're just hybrids. They look just like us, like Elon Musk, like you, me. I'm a hybrid. Anyway, almost anyone's a hybrid anyway. But whether or not they're on the planet or on a ship, there's between 38 to 43, 44 people on this planet at one time that do not have reptilian DNA in them. Almost all Anunnaki, just in small traces, but it's there. And the reason for that is in book 1 of the creation series, creation is beginning and your origin. I don't know where everything came from, including his first being, what people call God, and when it does bad things, it shows something like the devil. Well, it's all there. I want people to understand as much as possible. Understanding takes that sharp edge off of a double-edged sword. It won't cut you, but you feel it. But I gotta go. I'm doing this, Ben. I want you, lady, to know what's coming. And when I start taking the animals, because they've been abused so hard forever, I don't want people to think there's this horrible thing going on. A lot of people know. But when it happens, a lot of people are going to freak out. They don't understand. That is creation's purge. That's one of the channels I have on. I think it's on Odyssey. It started on Rumble, but I didn't pay any attention to them. I just put them on there. Okay. Well, you all take care, and I try to remember, all of you, that you have a wonderful life coming. I'll never be in a body again. Actually, nobody will ever be in a physical body again. Nobody will have another life in a body when this one's over. And less than 6 years from now, a little bit less, I'm not going to tell anyone when, because when it happens, I'm literally going to take your body matter and turn it into heavy particulate matter. And it just literally it just drops, and everyone's in spirit. The body's gone, their spirit, and they're all staying at the same time. Everyone's there. Stars, planets. They're like, what? Oh, we're home. So, when you see the animals leaving, and the tsunami between attacking China, Beijing, North Korea, the western side of the big body of Japan is going to get wet, but like Okinawa and stuff, they're gone. They're going to fall off into the ocean. But the Taiwanese, they're going to be fine, but they're going to get it's going to get a little rocky, a little wet, splashing rocky on the eastern side of it. Everything's changing. And to freak people out some more, no, I'll put that in the next video. Our relationship to Donald. All right. Thanks for being there if I screwed up, Tim. This last one's going to be hard. But I'm about to leave, folks, and here it comes. So just trying to understand what's going on. I've been talking about it on my channel, YouTube channel. I don't even know the name of it. Probably J. Ara Essex, is that right?
That's it. Yeah, J. Ara Essex.
Wow. Right, Tim, I'm gonna have to go, and I need to rest up before I can do that last one. Okay.
Good idea. Okay.
All right, big guy. We'll see you later. And anyone who watches this, please try to open your mind and put the thoughts in the back of your head about some of the things that I said, and understand that when it happens, that come a little less than 6 years from now, but you'll never be abused at all, ever, about anything. When I was first created, Lily, my better half, and I, after our very first life, I realized that the original first being, male and female, what they wanted able to call God, but when they wanted to do bad things to people, they, call me Satan, and they blame it on Lucifer, which is funny. That angel called Lucifer, he was the original first protector. But you have to, if you read the book, you can understand it, I tell you who the Antichrists were. There's actually 4 of them. Anyway, I gotta go. But this is literally getting rid of all the problems in creation, fixing it. We're all family. We came from the original first being. But they did, because of the fact they had too much lower particulate matter pulled into it, which slows down your frequencies, which makes you more negative, they had some problems. And unfortunately, I wasn't made yet. I wasn't able to fix that. By the time I was super strong, it was too late for me to be able to go back, as there's rules and regulations about that. Anyway, if you're interested, go to Amazon.com and get that first book and start just, think about what they say. The square pegs will fit the square peg, and the square holes, triangle pegs, and triangular holes. But unless you really feel inclined to, don't spend any more money on the books now, because Deanne's going to sell them real cheap. That the largest ship, that's 8 times the size of Aaron's. What is it again? Manufacturing ship.
Mm-hmm.
And this thing's huge. And we're going to put the weather video into this video too, so people can actually see what the weather station people are saying. We have a weird anomaly.
Anomaly.
Wow. Thanks. I'm about to just drop. My other energy won't let me drop yet. That's all right. Whatever. Been waiting almost 11 years. I could wait a couple days. Anyway, it looks like a saucer. Then it starts going a little over. Well, because it is a saucer. Then it starts flowing on its side, and then all of a sudden you see energy shoot out, different coloration from the satellite. It's electromagnetic energy. It's for the drive system of a ship. That's It's about 34 times the mass of Spain. And if you look at it and you see what's in the video other people took, then it'll start making sense. You were kept, everyone was kept from knowing what was going on. You think the original first being halves wanted you to know that they were beating the crap out of you? They had to hide that. It all started from a bad situation, but now we're going to turn it into a good one, and everyone's going to have a wonderful eternity. I mean, period. It's not about me. It's not about Lily. Our big thing is to take care of y'all. I don't mean change your diapers. I mean literally protect and care for you, serve. Make sure you have what you need and most of what you want within limits. All right. Tim, I might need I don't know if I'll be back in half an hour. I don't know, but it won't be long. Okay.
Whatever's good for you, that's fine.
Thanks. It's just to be able to do it and finish all this.
Alrighty, I'm going to go ahead and explain your energy through your brain and your body. There's these next residing photos. Starting with the hypothalamus, which is that oval clear field where your pineal starts. And then just above that is your lower crown. And that yellow field is your middle crown. And that purple field is your upper crown. And that filters into the frequency filter. That's that pink field. And then it goes all the way out to the second dimension, which we're going to show you at the end. And then next we're going to talk about is your focal points. You have two base focal points starting with your feet. And then the second is starting with your base of your spine. And then from there you have your sacral, which is the orange. Solar plexus, which is the yellow. And then that red and purple is your heart. A lot of your frequencies are represented, but these two are the ones that you'll see. And then just above that is your throat, and your pineal is actually dark blue, and then your throat is actually light blue, but that is all encompassing. When you cranked up, he essentially combines those two, just like that. And then next is your scannal field, which is connected to your solar plexus, is actually represented through your brain like that. And then just behind that is your pineal, and that is when you're looking, you actually looks like a big TV screen. And when you're cranked up, this is essentially what these fields represent through your brain and body. And then the next is where the frequency filter, when we're talking about that, emotions and extra energy, this is what we look like in the third dimension. And then actually a foot and a half to your right, at 3 foot up, is where the second dimension's floor starts. And then the rest of the energy out is actually where you're sleeping. That's about, you take about 1000% of that size, that's what we look like. Alrighty.